ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
It's official. San Diego will be added to the state COVID watch list tomorrow. That information just coming from the county in the past 20 minutes. Good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt. And this means rollbacks from the governor's office could be just days away. Just as more people are getting back to work, many businesses could be in their final hours of operation. And as beaches close to our north, one local city is taking crowd control into its own hands to steer away a rush of beachgoers who have nowhere to go. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains the precautions being taken in the North County.
As cases of COVID-19 continue to rise across California, Governor Gavin Newsom announced all state beach parking lots here in Southern California and the Bay Area will be closed this 4th of July weekend. Lifeguards will be busy keeping people safe in the water and trying to manage the crowds expected to pour in, while extra officers will be out making sure people are following the county's public health order. One coastal city has decided to take safety a step further. Without being required to, Oceanside city leaders have decided to close off beach parking lots to reduce the number of crowds coming in from out of town and to try to slow the spread of COVID-19. Regardless of the closures, though, some business owners tell me they still expect to be very busy.
There's going to be a lot more people coming here because a lot of beaches are already closed.
Owner of SoCal Bike, Jim Norris, says after business has been slow at his bike rental shop, the crowds will be a welcome change.
My business will be affected because we do rentals of bicycles and of electric bicycles, e-bikes, and I would think that that would be made significantly better because people can't park at the beach, so they'll want to ride to the beach.
All City of Oceanside public parking lots in the downtown area west of the railroad tracks will be closed off except for some lots in the Oceanside Small Craft Harbor. The closures start from July 3rd at 8 a.m. and go until Monday, July 6th at 8 a.m.
I think I just want people to have a good, safe weekend.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
The Oceanside Police Department will have extra officers at the beaches making sure people are following the rules. In addition to the parking lot closures, there are no fireworks displays in Oceanside or at Camp Pendleton this 4th of July. Orange County just decided to close all county-operated beaches this weekend to prevent holiday gatherings. And public beaches in Los Angeles and Ventura counties will also be closed. So far, San Diego County leaders have not closed our local beaches, and state beach parking lots will close, however. That includes Cardiff, Torrey Pines, Carlsbad State Beach, and Silver Strand. With San Diego now joining 19 other counties on the state's COVID watch list, reporters today pressed the governor about why he's preaching education instead of citations. Newsom responded that responsibility lies with local jurisdictions.
All of these jurisdictions have a role and responsibility to play on the enforcement. If we don't see those roles being advanced, if we don't see the level of enforcement that I can hear in your voice, you're encouraging, or you have described based upon those have inquired to you, that's precisely why we put up $2.5 billion of contingent money.
And Newsom today also announced the launch of an $11 million public awareness campaign to encourage Californians to take those orders seriously. And just in this afternoon, 2012 Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain is being treated for coronavirus at an Atlanta hospital. According to a statement, Cain was informed Monday that he tested positive for COVID-19. His symptoms grew serious enough that he required hospitalization.
The U.S. has set another record for new coronavirus cases. More than 50,000 new cases were reported Wednesday, a single-day record. For comparison, it took over 2 months to record that number of cases nationwide when the pandemic started. New cases have increased in at least 37 states over the past week, but Dr. Anthony Fauci says it's not too late to turn the surge around.
It does not have to be 100,000 cases a day. I use that number because I wanted to jolt people. If you leave the virus to its own devices, it will take off on you.
The stark numbers have prompted state officials to issue warnings about gatherings for 4th of July. Doctors say it could be a perfect storm for another spike. The Houston mayor fears hospitals could reach capacity by mid-July if people don't help change this trajectory.
Unless the behavior changes and people will engage in social distancing and wear their masks and proper hygiene, there could reach a point where they are really at their limit.
In Nebraska, officials say people should keep a contact list if they invite guests over the holiday. They're also advising that outdoor events should be the way to go if possible, and to avoid sharing things like sunblock.
San Diegans are continuing to go back to work during increasing uncertainty over the spread of coronavirus. Last month, the county's unemployment rate ticked down to an estimated 14.8%. The nationwide unemployment rate fell to 11.1%, which is better than expected. 10 News reporter John Horn explains why recent job gains could be in jeopardy.
Then all of a sudden you can't do anything. It was, almost like being ripped apart.
Susan McKesson says the coronavirus outbreak has been particularly hard on her and her husband Ian. They're both hairstylists and had to close their 2 salons in March.
It's been a roller coaster.
Their Mission Hills location is now shuttered permanently, but the couple, who got by on unemployment during the pandemic, was able to reopen their Fallbrook salon called Mary Jane North, putting upwards of 7 stylists back to work.
It's kind of firing on all cylinders.
Yeah,
It's almost like
good.
it's like Christmas busy.
Their reopening is one reason the county's unemployment rate has been ticking down. After peaking at 25% in mid-May, the San Diego Association of Governments reports it fell to 14.8% as of June 20th.
We're not out of the woods at all. I mean, this is almost 50% higher than the highest unemployment that we had during the Great Recession.
Sandag chief economist Ray Major says the other cause for concern is the recent rise in coronavirus cases. That could lead to a new round of shutdowns, sending thousands right back to unemployment. The McKessons are trying to remain optimistic.
We get nervous because there's things that are still shutting down around, and so that's a little daunting.
Sandag says there are still about 250,000 people in our county that are unemployed. The areas of our region with the highest joblessness continue to be Central San Diego and San Ysidro. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
Before the outbreak hit, the region's unemployment rate was just 3.1%. And we have links to job search resources in a special edition on our website, 10news.com/rebound. We have breaking news now on the death of an SDSU fraternity member who died after a night of drinking in 2019. San Diego State University police say the death of Dylan Hernandez has been ruled an accident. Because of that, they say no manslaughter charges were filed, and police also say there was no basis to prove hazing charges. Autopsy results in January say Hernandez died from blunt force trauma after falling off the top bunk bed. Right now, crews are trying to figure out how a small plane landed upside down at Montgomery Field. Sky 10 shows this single-engine Cessna belly up around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are told it flipped while landing at the airport. The pilot was the only person on board. No one was injured, and no fires were reported. The FAA is investigating. We now know the names of people involved in a deadly stabbing in the gas lamp. 43-year-old Canthan Triplett was stabbed to death early yesterday morning on 5th at J. And police later arrested 30-year-old David Zertuche and booked him into jail for homicide. Well, the motive is still unclear, but investigators say the two got into some kind of altercation. They are now looking for witnesses.
An associate of Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested. Ghislaine Maxwell was taken into custody this morning on charges related to the legal case surrounding Epstein. She's been accused by women of recruiting them for Epstein. She has denied any wrongdoing. We start the news feed with what's next for secret grand jury testimony from special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Today, the Supreme Court agreed to hear the Trump administration's appeal of a lower court order for the material to be turned over to the House. That means no decision on this before the November election. Former presidential candidate Herman Cain is being treated for coronavirus. Now, he posted this picture while attending President Trump's June 20th rally in Tulsa, but a statement about his diagnosis says there's no way of knowing how or where he contracted the virus. Now, you are going to see this new message on Facebook and Instagram encouraging you to wear a face mask. The social networks say the alert that will appear at the top of your feed will also include a link to the CDC's website for more information.